G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. And yes, what I'm about to say is something that I never thought I would say in my entire life. And that is, the Western Force has beaten the Crusaders in a game of rugby with ease. Yes, this was completely control and dominance for the Western Force. And if it wasn't for that absolute debacle for the Chiefs, right, where some of the players, you can argue with me all you want, some of the players in that Chiefs game against the Crusaders did not put in 100%, and if it wasn't for that atrocious embarrassment from the Chiefs, Crusaders will be on an 8-game losing streak right now. And boy, this was just one-sided, completely one-sided. The Western Force controlled the game, every aspect of the game. At no point did it feel like the Crusaders was actually going to win this game. And the Force just played the game, the territories they wanted. They controlled the kicking game. They controlled the physicality of this game. The Crusaders, when did they lose all of their men? I don't know, because the Western Force was just destroying the Crusaders at the breakdowns, in the lineouts, in the lineout mauls. Crusaders went from one of the best teams, if not the best club team in the world, in the lineout maul and lineout maul defense, to the worst, probably in Super Rugby, and it was just an embarrassment. The Western Force was just running them over like a little child. Like the maul was literally running towards the try line, and it was so bad and just absolute embarrassment for the Crusaders. I mean, who put Rob Penny in charge after Razor left? Those people need to check their heads, because how could they look at Rob Penny's record after his utter failure at the Waratahs and thought that's the guy that's going to take the Crusaders to the new era of success? Those people really need to go to see a doctor and have their head checked. And it's just absolutely atrocious performance from the Crusaders. And, you know, on top of the lack of physicality, drop balls, like indecision. At the end of the game, did they really have two fly halves on the field? They had Hohepa and Rehana on the field at the same time, right? Like, what's going on? Like, do they even have an idea what they wanted to do? Who's gonna be the playmaker? And it just didn't. It just looked like nobody knew what they wanted to do. And let's just put some people out there and see if anybody can do something. And boy, it didn't even look like the coaches had a plan to begin with. Yeah, that's how bad this was this performance was from the Crusaders. And for the Western Force, obviously this was the big return of Curly Beale. I really want to see Curly score a try, but it didn't happen. But anyway, when he got the ball, I was expecting him to be a lot slower, to be honest, but he looked fast and he looked good. He looked a lot better than I was expecting after taking like a year off due to what do you call it? False allegations of sexual harassment. Absolute disgrace. He should sue the person for the year of his career that he lost last year. And looking at how good a form he is still in, he definitely should have a claim on the financial losses he suffered, because it's just a disgrace. And this guy is still just so talented, and he looked good. He made the first time I think he touched the ball, he made a line break, and handling, just control, and really brought a lot of confidence to that backline, that the Western Force, to that Western Force backline, and a lot of confidence to the players around him. Outside of that, the Western Force, the forwards won the game. Breakdown, line out, more defense. There were so many times Western Force were defending on the try line and just pure physicality, forcing those knock-ons and forcing those turnovers just before the try line to stop the Crusaders. And just really magnificent performance by the Western Force. And like I said, this was quite a comfortable performance as well. The goal kicking from Crusaders was non-existent, and the Western Force just cruised away with a win. And you know what was really impressive from the Western Force was they were ahead. Crusaders was chasing them right up at their tails. And the Western Force didn't just go, oh my god, let's take the 3 points. They did take 3 points at some times, but in the end, when time really counted, when the pressure was really on, they went for the try and they got there. And instead of getting 3 points ahead or 6 points ahead at that point, they got themselves 15 points ahead and turning themselves really out of that ditch, out of the danger zone, and really starting to look more and more comfortable and with more and more confidence. And yeah, with that being said, let's have a look at some of the stats out of this game. It's definitely not 2 tries. What's going on here? 4 tries to 3. The Crusaders had more run meters. 278 to the Western Force to 497 for the Crusaders. Turnovers conceded, only 6 for the Western Force. 14 for the Crusaders. Extremely bad. 207 tackle for the Western Force. 33 missed tackles, so like just about 15% missed tackles. Not too bad. Crusaders only had to make 60 tackles. Is that correct? Only had to make 60 tackles, 11 missed tackles, and conceding a lot of 4 tries. So yeah, when you're conceding 4 tries out of 60 tackles, yeah, something needs to be looked at what's going on. I guess the one player that did play well, I forgot, is once again Xavier Reese. Absolutely just physical beast out there. There was one point where he ran over Tia for a try into the corner. 1-on-1 tackle. It looked like Tia like had him. He had nowhere to go, and he just ran straight into him, bumped him, straight through, try time. And Tia was on the ground, and looking back at Xavier Reese running past him, you can see his face on camera. Tia was just like disbelief, like how did he like just run over me? Like he was in utter disbelief how he just got ran over by Xavier Reese, who was like this much shorter than him and looking like a child, right? A child with jacked muscles, that is. And yes, just incredible performance there. Anyway, let's continue with the stats. Kicks in play, 30 for the Force, 21 for the Crusaders. Like I said, they were just controlling the territory really well with their kicking game. And Crusaders, 0 out of 3. The Donaldson, when it comes to penalty kicks, they got 100%. The conversions were a little bit harder, to be fair, for the Donaldson. Like pretty much all of them were like from the sideline or near the sideline. So they were like, it was difficult. Like all 3 missed one were difficult kicks. So yeah, still got to do better, but it's like, not really an excuse, but it's there weren't easy kick that the 3 that he missed. He did get 100% on his penalty goals, which was good. 10 lineouts for the Western Force, 1 lost, 12 for the Crusaders, 2 lost, and scrum 4 for the not Chiefs, 4 for the Western Force, 5 for the Crusaders. No scrum lost. I thought the Western Force had a little bit of scrum dominance as well in this game. Not significant, but just a tiny bit, considering they're against, like, I think Fletcher Newell like slipped one time. And yeah, it's not definitely I was expecting more out of the Crusaders scrummaging, considering the amount of All Black talent that was in that scrum, especially in the front row. 9 penalties conceded for the Western Force, 1 yellow card, and 10 against the Crusaders, and 0. The 1 yellow card was against Tizano with like again just a professional foul right in front of the try line. He kind of like went over the rock and picked the ball up, and the referee was like, nope, you cannot do that, and that was cynical, and you try to disrupt the play on purpose. Yellow card. But despite that, during that yellow card period, the Crusaders couldn't score a single point. Yeah, pretty bad. So let's have a recap on what happened in the game. 3 minutes into the game, Crusaders got themselves on the ball like immediately, and it was looking like, well, whoa, like this could be the Crusaders, look like they're really in form. Just good hands down the sideline. Say Reese ran down. As he's about to getting pushed out, he like popped the ball back in field. Omora running full speed, caught the ball, try time. Missed conversion, 5 points to 0. 8 minutes into the game, there was a penalty for the Western Force. They decided to take 3 points. Donaldson kicked this one, trying to get themselves settled their nerves, I guess. And, I always wanted to go for the tries, but, in this situation, I can understand why they went for the 3. 17 minutes into the game, there was a beautiful try by the Western Force, like I said. On one side, Curly Beale cut through a bit of a defense, and then they just kind of like spread the ball out on the other side. All the way down to the end, Tia was open down the sideline into the corner. Try 8 points to 5 for the Western Force. 22 minutes into the game, some more pressure, and there was another penalty against the Crusaders at the breakdown. 3 points for the Western Force, 11 points to 5. 27 minutes into the game, Tizano gets sent off for a yellow card. 10 minutes in the bin. And yeah, the Crusaders could not get any points during the 10-minute sin bin time. against the Western Force. And finally, just before halftime, the Western Force had an opportunity for penalty. They could have probably taken the 3 points. They decided to go for the line out, go for the more, which I was like applauding. Just really trying to finish the half strong. Something that ironically is the Crusaders / the All Blacks emphasis, finishing strong the 10 minutes before and after halftime. The Western Force did this to the Crusaders here. They went for the line out. They went for the more. And just easy as that. The more went through. Tom Horton goes in for the try for the Western Force. Halftime score 16 points to 5. Second half, early penalties to the Western Force. They decided to go for the line out. They didn't quite get that. But 50 minutes into the game, the Crusaders was able to break through down the left-hand side. They almost looked like the try scorer knocked on Bell. He reached out to try to ground the ball, but the ball, there was no separation. He did lose control of it, but the ball didn't actually lose contact with his arm. So try time for the Crusaders after some fast breakdown pressure. 19 points to 10. 54 minutes into the game, another penalty to the Western Force. They taken that 22 points to 10, keep the scoreboard ticked over. And on the 58 minutes, just unbelievable performance. This is what I was talking about from Seville Reese. He got the Crusaders was just building pressure into the Western Force try line on the right-hand side. They got really, really, really close, inches short, and then they just spun the ball out left-hand side, spun the ball out to the right, all the way to the right to Seville Reese, 1-1. Tia. And Tia's like, I got you, man. There's nowhere to go. Boom! Hit him like a truck and just ran straight through. Yeah, Seville Reese just really in form right now for the All Blacks. And that is just scary power and scary strength. And Tia was on the ground, probably still seeing stars, looking completely disbelief on his face. 22 points to 15, and 63 minute into the game, the Western Force get themselves another penalty from a scrum. Like I said, I think maybe it looked like maybe, what's it called, the Fletcher Newell slipped or something like that, but there was a scrum penalty. 25 points to 15 to the Western Force. And then the Crusaders kind of strikes right back. The kickoff immediately yielded a penalty for the Crusaders, and they're like, we're going to go for the try. They went for it. The Western Force defended at the try line. They got the turnover. And then a few minutes later, the Crusaders had another chance on the try line. Defended it again by the Western Force. Just hard tackle, forcing a knock on. 72 minutes into the game. Some really smart kicking from the Western Force. Got the Crusaders in a bit of trouble inside their own half, getting the penalty. And the Western Force did not go for the 3 points. Could have easily ticked the scoreboard up, but they wanted to go for the line out and go for the try and backing on the set piece and just, recognizing that you got to play rugby. You got to play rugby, mate. You can't win just by milking penalties. So they went for the line out. They went for the maul. The one of the ball carrier was, I think one of the locks had the ball. He peeled off almost like he tripped over just before the try line. And then the follow-up from Carter, Sammy Carter, the second lock, scooped up the ball, crashed over for the try. 30 points to 15, 72 minutes. Finally, 78 minutes. Again, penalty to the Western Force. Could have easily just kicked this one and run the clock down. Some of the teams would have done that. But the Western Force decided we're gonna play some rugby. They kick the ball out for the sweep, for the penalty, for the line out. They go for the line out. They go for the maul. Absolutely ruthless. The maul went straight. It was running towards the try line, and the maul was collapsed. Referee thought this was a penalty try. He gave it a penalty try, and then he came back because he thought the ball was held up. And then he probably got notified from the TMO that it was actually scored proper by Tizano from Western Force. The referee came back and said, okay, I guess you have to take the penalty, the conversion, not a straight 7 points. But hey, it's still the referee. Yeah, anyway, just nitpicking here, but should still been a yellow card because if you felt like that was a penalty try, should still been a yellow card just because the try is scored. Doesn't mean there was no yellow cards. But that was the last play of the game anyway, so I guess the referee didn't want to, the referee just punched out his time card and checked out of the game as well, I guess. But yeah, they scored right at the end, and Donaldson converts this one on the 80th minute. 37 points to 15. easy win for the Western Force. Really good turnaround from the destruction against the Blues, and boy, it just shows how good the Blues actually is. You know, other than the fact that they keep dropping the ball, the Blues, they are actually quite dominant physically up front. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, and let me know how the Chiefs did not let the Crusaders a free win, and yet ruining the potential for an 8-week losing streak for the Crusaders. But hey, I look forward to your comments. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later. Cheers.